7 days after your death, you are taken to the first court of hell. Seated before you in a grand chamber is King Qingguang, who will hold a preliminary trial for you in what is known as the intake office of the Chinese underworld. Here begins your journey through the darkest of infernos, where I will be your personal guide as we travel through the 10 courts of hell. I've always been fascinated by folklore tales of the macabre and the stories that elders would tell their children to wean them off certain habits. So treat this as a little bedtime story as we journey through hell together, starting with the first court, the Mirror of Retribution. Presided over by King Qingguang, Great King of Qin, the first court is where your soul would arrive 7 days after your death and is judged according to deeds in your past life. Here, the good are distinguished from the evil, and King Qingguang recommends appropriate reward or punishment. If you are found to have virtuous conduct, you will be led over to the Golden Bridge to reach paradise. But if you are found to be an evil doer, you are sent to face the Mirror of Retribution, where a magical glass displays your highlight reel of sins in unskippable detail. So it's basically like a PowerPoint slide presentation of all your worst and embarrassing moments.
Thank you.
You have to watch it in front of the Mirror of Retribution, in front of King Qingguang. Wow, that's so embarrassing, man. If the mirror shows that you've been a naughty boy, you will be banished to one of the lower courts for further processing. And now we enter the second court, the Pool of Filth and Boiling Cauldron, ruled by King Jiang, King of the First River. This visit happens 14 days after your death. Here you see volcanic pits glow with molten rock while skulls and bones jut from the edges. The air is a suffocating blend of sulfur, rot and bile, coating the throat like oil, each breath a struggle against gagging. If you are found to be a prostitute or a corrupt official, you are dunked headfirst into the pool of filth, a steaming lake of excrement, vomit and rancid blood, thick with writhing maggots that burrow into your flesh. Each gulp you take, because obviously you're gonna try to scream, fills your lungs with sludge, burning your lungs like acid as it eats through your insides. Your skin peels off in clumps only to regrow because, well, we are in hell and it's eternal punishment, baby. Your flesh, raw and tender, is now ready for another dip while King Jiang keeps a scrapbook of his favorite screams. An interesting point to note is that the concept of a large pool of blood in hell exists in other cultures too, for example in Dante's Inferno. 21 days have passed since your death and you now enter the third court, the heart-cutting pillar ruled over by King Songdi, King of Song. If you are found guilty of drug trafficking, disrespecting your elders, don't push amas on MRTs, respect your elders, or causing domestic strife, shout out to my neighbors who are always quarreling at night and waking me up. They're going to hell, they're going to the third court. Confirm one. You are sent to King Songdi, who rules over the third court of hell. Red-hot copper pillars tower over you, their surfaces glowing with searing heat, surrounded by trenches filled with congealed blood. The air is dry and thick with the stench of scorched flesh and molten metal. If you are found guilty of drug trafficking, you are tied to these red-hot copper pillars as your flesh sizzles on contact, bubbling and blackening as it fuses to the metal. The stench of burning meat chokes your screams. Demons press on you tighter as your bones melt into the pillar, yet consciousness persists, regeneration restarting the roasting cycle. Yummy, roasted human meat. An interesting fact is that the hot pillar torture, known as Pao Luo, is a legendary Chinese punishment featured in many older Chinese movies, particularly those about the hated emperor Di Xing of the Shang dynasty. So you can see, I guess, like similarities in real life and in the underworld. If you have been ungrateful or disrespectful towards your elders, you are bound to rocks and your chest sliced open with jagged blades. Demons take joy in slowly peeling your skin back like wet paper. They then rip out your beating heart, each pulse a spike of agony as the organ is crushed in their hands, squirting gore. The sins are very specific, disrespecting elders, drug trafficking. There's no theme in a certain court. Like, not one court is like for, sex offenders or like,
Yeah.
it's all mixed in one court.
But if you ask me, I feel like all this, it feels like man-made things to kinda
tell their children not to do
yeah,
certain bad
don't
things.
do these things. If not, this is gonna happen.
Actually, a lot of folklore tales are like that also lah.
Yeah.
Like they create, oh, don't go out at night, or a pontianak will catch you from the banana tree, you know,
Yeah.
kind of thing. On your 28th day after death, we go lower into the depths of hell and you are sent to the fourth court, the stone mallet and grinding stone, ruled by King Wu Guan, or King of the Five Officers. Based on his portfolio, he is the god of all taxmen and business investors. As you enter, you hear muffled screams choking through crushed throats, blending with the stone's relentless rumble and the wet thud of stone mallets smashing flesh. Demons whisper taunts as their prying eyes lay on you, while chains rattle with the dragging of lifeless bodies. Here, you are punished for tax and rent evading, again very specific, and also those who are disobedient to their siblings. So don't quarrel with your brothers. Don't quarrel with your brothers and sisters, y'all. Don't be naughty kids, huh? Tax dodgers are strapped to racks where stone mallets pound their torsos, ribs shattering into jagged shards that puncture lungs. If you are found to have evaded rent or skipped payments, like your credit card payments, you are also pounded. This time the mallets target your legs and arms. Your muscles tear and tendons pop as blood pools beneath, your soul screaming through a crushed jaw. Regeneration only restarts the cycle as demons pound relentlessly on your body and limbs. Disobedient siblings have it differently as they are grounded whole in a grinding stone. So they just fucking say your body into a grinding stone. Just throw your body into a grinding stone and you get crushed, where their skulls crack like eggshells, brains oozing through fractured orbits. Lesson learned, don't have beef with your siblings or you'll be made into ground beef by King Wu Guan. 35 days after your death, you enter the fifth court, the Mountain of Knives, ruled by King Yan Luo. Yan Luo is an acronym for Yan Mo Luo She, which is the Chinese translation of Yama Raja, the Sanskrit name of the Hindu god of death. So obviously a cross of culture. Here you are punished for crimes of murder and deceit for profit, including money lenders with exorbitant interest rates. So if you're a normal money lender with good enough interest rates, you don't have to enter the fifth court. But if you raise your interest rates too high, off to the fifth court you go. That's very specific. All the bankers? Gone. Here you are forced to climb the Mountain of Knives, its slopes studded with blades that slice through your feet, severing tendons and grinding against bone. Blood slicks the path, making you slip onto more knives that carve your shins and knees into ribbons. Your hands, grasping for balance, are shredded to stumps, fingers hacked off and regrown for fresh cuts. But just as you reach the summit, demons push you off and you tumble down as knives impale through your gut on a forest of blades below. For murderers, your climb is worse. Knives target your joints, popping cartilage and snapping ligaments with every step. Your elbows and knees burst open, exposing bone that splinters under your weight. Demons hack at your spine with cleavers, each blow sending shards of vertebrae into your nerves, paralyzing you mid-climb until you're dragged up for more. It is here you gaze up at King Yan Luo as he watches from the mountain peak. He's thrown a pile of shattered swords, his gaze cold as the blades below. On day 42, you are brought to the sixth court, the Tree of Knives and Sawing, pretty similar to the fifth court, ruled by King Bianchen, King of Transformations. Here you notice that his court looks slightly different from the rest. A dense forest of iron-grey trees sprawl, their branches bristling with jagged knives that gleam like polished steel, dripping with fresh blood. This court punishes cursing. I guess we're all going to the sixth court. It also punishes abducting, possessing pornography, and wasting food. Why are you laughing at the sixth court, huh? Think this is a joke? You want to go to the sixth court, is it?
I'm definitely going to the sixth court, bro.
Same, see you there lah. See you there. Maybe we'll film Mysteries of Asia in the sixth court. With King Biancheng. Again, very specific. It's almost as if a parent created these hellish scenarios. If you are found to have cursed or swear, you will be thrown onto knife trees, where blades will pierce through your spine and knives will puncture your lungs and kidneys. Every once in a while, the branches will twist, driving blades even deeper, shredding your organs into a pulp. If you are a pornograph possessor, you are sawn into half as the blade targets your lower spine, severing your nerves. Food wasters, on the other hand, are sawn vertically. They are sawn like that, splitting the skull first as your brain oozes out in clumps and your face halved with a sickening squelch. 49 days have passed since your death and you now enter the seventh court, the tongue-pulling walk, ruled by King Taisan, or the King of Mount high. Screams gurgle through oil-soaked throats, walks hissing as flesh fries, like a constant roar of a starving beast. Pliers snap shut with metallic clangs, tearing tongues while demons chant low hymns, their voices like funeral bells. So I guess it is here where you are fried in a wok, because I think it's the tongue-pulling wok. You're gonna get thrown in a wok. This court punishes those who have engaged in gossip, sowing family discord, and driving others to death. Very particular. You have to be super virtuous in order not to enter this hell.
Honestly, I feel like almost the whole entire population is
Everyone's going to hell. Isn't there a saying like it's easier to put a thread through a pin than it is to enter the gates of heaven? There's a saying so it's super difficult to enter heaven. If you are a rumor mongerer, aka a gossip, you are met with red hot pliers that clamp your tongue. As the metal sears your lips and gums, your tongue is slowly stretched until it snaps as blood floods your throat in a coppery torrent. Your tongue regrows, slick and raw, ready for another rip, each tug slower to maximize torment as your screams choke on gore. For those who pit family against each other, their tongues are pulled longer, pliers twisting to snap ligaments, the tongue splitting like overcooked meat. Demons then crush the torn tongue in their fist. Yeah, they really hate tongues, these demons. If you have ever drove anyone to death, you are thrown into a giant wok of boiling oil to fry you to a crisp. Maybe turn you into a delicious bowl of Hokkien mee. On your 100th day in hell, you start to wonder what other torture methods hell would conjure for you. Actually, no, I added that part in because I would be curious. I mean, we've been on a mountain of knives, we've been cooked in a wok. What else? What else does hell have in store for us? Well, it gets creative. In the 8th court is the dismemberment pit, where King Dushi or Dushi resides. It is a cavernous pit of jagged stone with walls draped with flayed skin. Iron hooks dangle from chains, crusted with gore, swaying in a hot breeze. Here, you are punished for having a lack of filial piety, cheating in exams. You kids, don't cheat in your exams, or harming others for personal gain. If you are an unfilial child, you will be hung by iron hooks as your intestines are pulled out from your stomachs. Demons tugging until organs tear, spleen and liver bursting. For exam cheaters or academic fraudsters, torso hooks will rip your ribs apart, exposing lungs that gasp uselessly as blood floods your chest. Demons carve hearts out, crushing them in fists while pouring venom on you as it burns your nerves. If you harm others for gain, you are dismembered whole as hooks tear your arms and legs apart while your bones splinter into jagged shards. You are basically ripped apart by hooks if you harm others for gain. And finally, 1 year after your death, you find yourself in the 9th court, governed by King Ping Teng, where the head and arms of anyone found guilty of robbery, murder, or rape shall be hacked off. All around you are iron guillotines that tower over the lifeless bodies of sinners strewn on the molten ground. It is here that robbers will have their heads severed by guillotines and murderers will have their arms chopped off, followed by their head. Grapists have it the worst, as their limbs are chopped in sequence, legs, arms, then head, and then the whole body is grinded by axes as demons dice up your body, only for regeneration to restart the butchery. 3 years have passed after your death and you finally enter the last court, the 10th court of hell, the wheel of reincarnation, which symbolizes samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth. This court is far different from the rest. A vast circular chamber glows softly, its walls carved with spirals that pulse like heartbeats, etched with faces, some serene, others twisted with dread. The wheel of reincarnation, a colossal disc of jade and bone, spins silently at the center. You hear a soft hum from the wheel, like a distant lullaby as it weaves through faint gasps and sobs of souls awaiting fates. Golden-robed demons murmur instructions passed down from King Zuan Lun, or the King of Turning Wheels. After you have gone through your sentence, it is here that King Zuan Lun will pass your final judgment. If you are an unrepentant criminal, you naughty boy, the wheel lands on animal, where you would be rebirthed as a filthy animal, the filthy animal like you are, such as a worm writhing in muck or a rat scavenging for scraps. For borderline cases with mixed karma, you are sent back to prior courts for more torment as you wait in limbo for deferred judgment. But for redeemed souls who are repentant, the wheel spins to human, where you get rebirth as a human, with the nobility of your next life dependent on your past sins. You are then brought to the pavilion of forgetfulness, where an old lady, Meng Po, will hand you a cup of tea which will make you forget your past life and begin your journey into a new life, ending your time in the court of hell. And that was our journey through the 10 courts of hell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, I always found like folklore like this very interesting. Unlikely that it's real. If not, we're all probably going through like multiple courts in hell. And thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon.